And welcome back to Disciples of the Force. I might have been cut off a little bit there, so sorry if you didn't hear my full thing. I didn't see the second come down. It has been a minute since we have been with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't put out a pod last week. Mainly, I didn't even reach out to you because you were coming back from Mexico.
Yeah, it was weird timing.
And the episode I didn't feel like was anything needed to be talked about. So I was like, give ourselves a break.
I thought you were mad at me, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I didn't say anything to you?
Yeah, I was like, man, Spencer's pissed,
Sorry.
bro.
I'm usually bad at texting. I was really bad last week because I saw your message. Like, I never responded to Austin. I asked him how his trip was. I didn't say anything to him after.
Oh, that was fine.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were asking that for a reason.
No, I just wondered how
And then when
doing.
you didn't text back, I was like, I didn't give him his reason.
No, I was really bad last week. I kept getting I was like, oh, I should text this person. I should text this person. And it got too much that I kind of just shut off. I was like, I don't want to text any of you guys back.
Good.
Texted McKay, texted Zach, I texted JP. Shout out JP.
Shout out JP.
Watching every
Our
week.
guy.
My guy. Someone else. And then I was like,
Mitch.
Nope. Wasn't actually Mitch. And then I gave up on responding to people because there's just too much.
You didn't text Forrest during that whole time?
Dude, I didn't. I actually saw that. I was like, I haven't talked to Austin or Forrest at all this week.
Wow.
I had sent one message to Forrest.
Man.
It was a bad week for me. There's too much going on.
And then he bails on us on Warzone, dude. That made me so sad.
You made me so mad. Last night, I'm laying in bed. I sent you the Jeremy Zucker thing. I sent it to him, too. He responds instantly to me at 11 o'clock at night, which is 12 your time, Forrest. You don't listen, but 12 your time.
Yeah.
And he's like, his first message was, damn, I thought that was a dude because the picture I'd sent wasn't very flattering.
Right.
I didn't realize that. I was like, oh, whoops. And then I can't remember what he said. And then I said, that's crazy. You're texting right now and you couldn't go into Warzone when you're up. And he's like, dude, don't be like that. I've had a rough day. And I said, because he had called me earlier that day and he said he was going to call me back. And he never called me back. And then he canceled on Warzone.
Right.
And then I felt bad. I was like, oh, is everything all right? He's like, yeah, I just have a headache. I was like, oh, dude.
Jeez.
I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Here's a new policy. Sorry for the listeners. Spencer and I haven't seen each other.
Yeah, it's been a
new
bit.
policy. If you're going to bail on Warzone, 2-hour advance.
Yeah.
Because I got home at 8, and I was like, man, I really want to watch a movie, but then it's going to bump into Warzone, so I didn't. Sat on TikTok for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Then he says he can't play Warzone. I was like, ugh.
You're right. We have to have a policy. Unless something happens in that moment, if you know you're not feeling it, you let us know. Because I was at my desk, ready to go. We should have just played.
We should. I don't know why we didn't.
I don't know why we let that game be the glue.
We could have called Dallas.
Or McKay. Yeah, McKay was back. He was in Hawaii. He just got back.
So we're there. Next time.
All right, next time. We'll have to remember that. Because I'm not letting Forrest bail on us again.
Yeah, no.
F you, Forrest. Anyway. That's it for us. Now Star Wars news.
Star Wars news. One little bit here. Lucasfilm is hiring for a new animated TV show. They had a posting listed for a production coordinator, and that was confirmed at Lucasfilm. So, pretty exciting.
So we just saw an animation show.
Yeah, guess we'll see.
I'm excited. I wonder what it could be. You think we're gonna keep in Clone Wars?
Clone Wars animation?
Clone Wars animation? What do you think it's gonna be?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, I feel like they're peeling back on a lot of projects. It'll be weird for them to introduce something, but I don't know.
Tales of the Sith. Maybe they'll.
That'd be sick.
I don't know. Interesting. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We've had 2 comments, and honestly, this isn't an attack. This is out of respect and thank you for giving us feedback. And I've wanted to change our intro for a while. I don't know if you saw. There's 2 separate people who were like, the intro's just too much coming in. And I get that. It is loud. And what sucks is I went and changed it, and I went months ago. I was trying a different one. I remember I sent it to you. I never went through with it. But it sucks because on the Film Fixation podcast, I was like, damn.
That's a good intro.
That's a good, because it's chill jazz.
Spencer made, by the way. Spencer made that.
Thank you. Yeah. It's really chill, and I'm like, it's just really good to get into it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was messing with some things, and I'm like, I don't know. So this podcast, I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to go straight into talking.
Okay, great.
We'll find an intro. I'm thinking a 7-second. I'm thinking something with Princess Leia, you're our only hope, but I don't know what to put.
Okay, well, we can talk about it.
Yeah. No, we don't have to.
Okay, let's not.
Anyway, but other than that, I think that's it. We jump into the Acolyte?
The Acolyte. So today, Spencer and I talked about it. We're basically going to do 3 episodes. I was out of town for 2 weeks ago. Spencer did a solo pod on it. I listened to that one. Great pod. I didn't listen to it. So I'm not sure what he talked about. So I'm going to share my thoughts. He's going to reiterate his thoughts, I'm sure. Then last week's episode was kind of subpar. I didn't even watch it until yesterday, so that's bad on me.
But it was just, I don't even want to, it was like good to the story, but it wasn't like anything crazy.
Yeah. And then this week's episode, we'll talk about it. So, okay.
Perfect.
So, starting a couple weeks back. Night. Great episode. And our buddy Jaren, we're playing Warzone the night before, or the night it comes out. Spencer and I hadn't been able to watch it yet. I don't know if you already said this. Again, I'm sorry if I'm repeating stuff.
I don't remember, but it's fine. It's always good to get a little refresher. It's 2 weeks ago.
Jaren is like, who's a notorious hater of women and black people. And I'm just kidding. Yeah, we'll maybe cut that.
No, I think we
can keep it in. It's not true.
It's not true, but it's funny.
But it is defamatory, so I'm sorry, Jaren. Anyway, he has not liked this show. You know, he's liked it less than we have.
That's for sure, yeah.
He was like, guys, it's great. It's like a whole different show, this episode.
And I remember you said, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was lying, too.
Yeah. We're like, Jerry, you're lying. Shut up. I watched it the next day because I was flying out. I watched it in an airport, which was bad.
Have the nephews and nieces around
No,
you?
it was just me and my parents and Grace.
That's good.
But just like on my iPad, like it was downloaded quality, whatever.
Yeah.
People around. But that being said, great, man. Intense. The best fight choreography we've seen probably since the prequels.
I would
definitely
say so.
Out of any of the shows. It was great.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be Manny Jacinto's character, Quimir. But like I thought that reveal was cool. I think he's like a really good choice for this Sith character, this Acolyte, whatever. He's got nice manly arms.
Yeah, he's got great arms.
Glad they killed off the two most annoying characters we've seen in Star Wars for some time.
Yeah.
Logan Girl and
Yord. And I have her name here somewhere. You can keep going. I'll tell you in a second.
Yeah.
She's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter. But I was so glad. 3 stabs through the chest. Just so cool. Brutal. I think I saw somewhere that said that's the first time we've seen a Padawan die in live action. Is that true?
Have you seen Revenge of the Sith? I guess you don't see him die. But they all get murked.
Yes. Maybe that's what it was referring to.
Yeah,
though,
you don't actually fit. Yeah, because we see the death here.
But we definitely do see Padawans die.
Oh, yeah, because when he's on the bridge with Bail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've seen it.
So we've seen it. I don't know where I read that. Anyway.
Wrong.
Oh, maybe it was named Padawans.
Oh, that's fair.
But every character in Star Wars is named after the fact. So
yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Anyway, great stuff. When he broke Yord's neck, I was like, damn, this is money.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, on a super high after that episode. It was great. Do you have anything else to say on that?
Her name's Jackie. It was just so, I talked about it. I loved it because people died. Like, for me, it was like, here we go. Lightsabers I said this the last podcast, but lightsabers are strong again.
Yeah.
Like, he was cutting through them like butter.
Yep.
And I did like the little scene with Jackie when she pulls out the second lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that. I was like, oh, that was cool. And then that 3 little when he kills her and Yord's neck snap. It's so good.
I'm glad she died, partially because I hated her, but also because when she pulled out that second lightsaber and she was going against this like big masked Sith guy, I was like, this is like Ahsoka, Vader.
Yep.
And if she wins, that's just that'll suck.
Yeah.
So I was glad she died.
Well, also, I just loved that this didn't really do good with character development because she's been this kind of nerdy, you gotta do it by the book. And like you see, she's not defending though. She's not listening. She's not trying to redirect the attacks like Jedi usually do. She turns on and she starts going for attack when she's against Quimir. And ultimately, that's why she dies because she's not doing her Jedi training.
It's a great observation.
She wasn't ready she was like, maybe she knew all the book stuff, but she wasn't ready for the street.
Yeah.
Thought that was a little interesting.
She wasn't ready for the street.
She wasn't ready for the street.
It's a great observation. I really liked the stuff between Quimir and Sol about like what kind of master hides his face from his pupil. He's like, says something. It was 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But he basically says you do the same thing.
Yeah, there's some tension there,
yeah.
you know. yeah, I just felt like that was the best episode we've had of the Acolyte, certainly.
Oh yeah.
And it gave us everything that we've been asking for, like a cool, powerful, evil force, strong lightsabers again, good choreography, high stakes, like people actually dying. We've been wanting that in Star Wars, and we got all of it, so I'm pleased with that.
Yeah.
On to the next episode, or do you have anything else?
Well, I just want to say this is what sucks, and I mentioned this as well last week, but it sucks that this had been written off beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Like people just didn't get it a chance, and we knew that was probably going to happen. But it's like they answered questions that people hated with the sequels, and they making things strong, people dying that didn't happen. So now it's happening. But since you were so stuck in your ways, dug your heels in, you didn't get to the payoff. And honestly, you suck for that.
That's a great point. My thing is, I watched that episode. I was like completely high off of it. I was like, yes, we got what we wanted in Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And then I think about the rest of the series up to this point, and I'm like, is it worth it for 10 to 15 minutes of like, yes, this is everything I want in Star Wars, to be surrounded with stuff I really do not like about Star Wars?
It's a great question.
And it got me thinking. I thought this after watching the 2 episodes that I watched yesterday, which is the following episode and the most recent episode, that this show is actually amazing on paper.
Yeah, let's hear it. I love
so the whole twin thing, the whole mystery behind like where they come from, the whole mystery behind how their family was killed, and the tension between those two, the Jedi trying to hide this thing, a Sith, or not a Sith, but a dark side user who's super powerful, has access to like this super rare metal, cortosis, that is super OP. Witches that can like take control of Jedi.
Yeah, that's cool.
All of this stuff is so sick on paper, but then you just watch it, and like the most recent episode, and we'll get to it, there's several times where I'm just rolling my eyes, but then I'm like, but this is actually pretty badass if you think about like what they're going for.
Yeah.
It just all looks and sounds and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense.
No, it
but
does.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, if I read this in a bullet list of like all of this stuff is going to happen, I'm like, hell yeah. But then every cool thing that happens in an episode is surrounded by 25 to 30 minutes of just like dog water that's pissing me off. So it's a real shame.
No, I think you make an excellent point. It is hard. Like the story is so good. And like, because we attacked in the very beginning, like, oh, they gave us a twin reveal, but now we understand that's not the story. The story is what happened on the planet. That Go far.
I think. Wait, no, that's where
they get murked.
I
don't remember.
Brodak, something like that.
Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, Rodeo Drive. Santa Monica and La Brea. Final answer.
Hey, it's a new planet. Get off my back. I don't need to know that one. But anyway.
It's on the poster behind you, dude.
Oh my freaking gosh.
Brendock. I just came up with it. Brendock is what it is.
It's right behind me, isn't it?
It's right behind me, isn't it? Brendock.
Okay. That's where the whole mystery is. What happened? What did the Jedi do? What is the bad things they did? That's the whole mystery. And that's why the reveal happened, which is cool. Because it's like, oh, we weren't fully like saying, oh, this is going to suck. Why did they reveal it so quickly? But it's nice to know that that's what wasn't their goal. But with what you're saying, a lot of the execution is just, which is something that's very Disney, just Disney itself.
I know.
There's been times I'm watching a show and I'm like, like I think we've talked about this before. I'm going to say it again. What the freak is her name? Miss Marvel, not Miss Marvel, the other one. The movie that came out in
Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. That story is so sick. She was on the wrong side. I love all that. Just the execution of it, not great.
Yeah.
And that can make or break a movie. Is like you can have a great idea, just somehow gets all bogged down.
That's an excellent example too, because that is a movie that relies heavily on flashbacks and telling the story in a non-linear fashion and screws it up big time. Mm-hmm. And that's what this show is doing, kind of. I feel like they're actually doing a better job, and like there's more reason to tell it in a non-linear fashion. But same thing, it's like the execution is just a little soft there.
Yeah.
yeah, man, it really disappoints me because, and we'll get to it, I guess. Or maybe I'm just jumping ahead here. Never mind. What I'm going to say, the most recent episode, I'm just going to say this. So cool that, like, seeing it from the Jedi's point of view.
Yeah.
That they're just there looking for life, and they're like, yeah, this planet didn't have life or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then they find this coven of witches, and they're torn on what to do.
Yeah.
And one wants to, like, go take action. One wants to, like, hold back and wait for advice. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
And then those two, that split in the Jedi that are there, causes a huge catastrophe in which there's like a mass murder or a, not really, as we see. Like Jedi get their minds taken over. The witches have like this crazy power. It's so awesome, but it's just, again.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. They just wasn't executed amazing. Yeah. And we'll get to it quick. I'll just.
Okay, yeah, just run through the next episode.
So Teach Corrupt was the next one. What happened? Yeah. Yeah, so basically that's right. I was just sorry, I had to read what happened because it was last week.
Yeah.
Soul is, the whole team's dead. He's got to let him know. And there's this whole thing like of May's trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, oh, when is she going to do it? She doesn't do it. Does he know? Go with this whole thing. But I love the Quimir and Osha conversations.
Yeah,
First off,
those are killer.
She was checking out his hog. I saw her eyes went right down, and I would too. Okay, honestly, if he was trying to turn me to the dark side, he just had to do what he did to her when he was trying to take a little dip. Boom, you got me. I'm in.
Dude, it's crazy. That guy's actually Manny Jacinto, crazy hot,
dude.
When he was,
this is a good looking dude.
When he was playing dumb guy, like cringy sidekick, I was like, this guy is not it.
Yeah.
Ever since he's Sith guy, I'm
Sick.
like, I'd bang this.
You
dude.
like a bad boy, huh?
I do like.
You like a little bit of a bad boy.
No, but he's hot. Sorry.
He is. But what you said, I wanted to go off of. I loved, like, as he was kind of annoying, cringy character when you're like, okay, who's this dork? Mm-hmm. And then when he's been the Sith, like, it's just cool that this kind of dual role, which kind of goes into Palpatine, right? Same thing. When he was a Sith, scary as hell. Yeah. But when he's just Chancellor Palpatine, he's just like, oh, he's just a silly little Chancellor.
Some redheaded nerd.
Yeah, nerd.
Yeah.
So I loved it. Kind of the Sith like to play roles like that.
Cool. I like it a lot. One note I have during their conversations, you said you liked them. I did as well. He says something to the effect of, I was a Jedi. And she's like, I don't remember you. Or I don't know you. And he's like, I was a Jedi a long time ago. So there's been theories about him having a tie to Plagueis.
Yes, yeah.
Who his whole thing is like extending life, eternal life, whatever. So does he know some of that stuff? Is he secretly super, super old?
That's a great question.
And has like prolonged his life somehow? That was my thought, because that seemed pretty intentional, that dialogue there.
Yeah, you got a really good point, because there's a lot of things surrounding him that's going on. Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
Some theories that he is Plagueis the Wise.
Yeah.
And the part of that couldn't be is because he's not like the same species as him. Or
right.
Whatever. But then again, I don't think any of that is that in comics when you see him, or are those all non-Legends books?
I think it's all Legend stuff, but I'm pretty sure his species has got to be in canon somewhere.
Right, maybe. Or maybe he's a shapeshifter. Shapeshifter? He
shifts
shifts ships.
One thing I was thinking is maybe he's like Snoke. He's just like a vessel through which... And I don't think that's what they're going for at all.
Yeah.
At least if they have any sense, I wouldn't think so.
But I do like what you're saying, that maybe he is in some tie with him. Maybe he had a...
Yeah, because later he says something to the effect of, she asks about his scar on his back, and he says something like, I got stabbed in the back and thrown away by my master. So...
Well, okay, now that's a good point, though. But remember, Venestra, whatever her name is, she's got the whip lightsaber. And so that's the other theory, is that that was his master.
Oh.
That's what's going around, because it's kind of whip marks.
Yeah.
And she, like, when she shows up on the planet, she's like, let's kind of cover this up, because she might have an idea. So that's one theory going around, that she's that she was his master. Not that she's a Sith or evil, but maybe that's why he hates the Jedi, because she
Yeah.
was too harsh. I don't know.
It makes a lot of sense. Like that kind of sucks. I hate her character. I hate that actress, whoever that is. She sucks. So I don't want more of her.
I think it's Amy Bridgewater.
Amy Bridgewater. That's right.
Just pulled that out of nowhere. Sorry if your name is Amy Bridgewater. Put you on blast for no reason. I do. So yeah, her lightsaber whip is canon. It's in the books.
It's in the show.
Well, sorry,
sorry.
in the show. But what I was trying to say is I could see people bitching like, why would they put this in here? Why would they make this a thing when it's already been established? But here's again, that's me just projecting and not knowing. Not projecting. I'm not projecting. That's me assuming that's what they're going for. Anyway, sorry, that was one of my notes I put in there.
All good.
Yeah, and in the end, just a bunch of we have already talked about. Oh, I did like this part though. He says, "When you lose everyone, that's when you're finally free."
Yeah,
it's like that's kind of like Homelander in The Boys when he's like, "Do it. I have nothing to. What does he say? If I have nothing to lose or nothing to gain." You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I wish I.
Basically, if it's in The Boys, there's a point where he's getting threatened, where they're going to leak this video of him killing all these passengers on a plane or letting them die.
Yeah.
And he says, go ahead and do it, because if no one worships me, then I have nothing to lose, and I can just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I don't need their their love. Mm-hmm. Which gives you like, oh, this guy's crazy, which is kind of the same vibe here. Of like, when you have no one, like, you can do whatever you want. When you're not bound by rules, life is so free, which, I mean, is literally truth, depending on how you look on it.
It's true.
And then the last thing I have here, do you think Vanestra's going to try to cover the whole thing up and blame Soul and say Soul did it?
Could be. She sucks.
She's not cool.
I don't know, man. Every time she comes on the screen, I'm like out. I'm checked out. Getting on my phone, getting on Instagram. Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, but the last thing I do have is I would like this kind of dynamic of OSHA turns, Quimir gets her. I don't want her to be good still. I want her to turn evil, and then her and May are evil. I don't know what happened with that, but that's a different story, right?
Yeah.
It all ends bad. I don't know.
I would love that too. Like, we think that May is the one that's going to go with Quimir, and she's going to stay there, and then we're pissed that she doesn't. A couple of episodes ago, we're like, why did she turn so quick?
Yeah.
Only for it to like make this power vacuum to which OSHA fills. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down with that. So the last thing I have with that episode, like I said, I mean, I kind of forced a lot of those notes out. It wasn't incredibly interesting, but it was there.
But I mean, some of that dialogue was really cool.
Yeah, it's important, and I think it'll be going. I can see that they do flashbacks, recaps, or do they not do recaps? I can't remember.
Yeah, they do.
I guarantee you next week's episode is going to have a recap of all what happened in that episode, because now we're at the choice.
Tall, skinny, cringy British dude. Was he in this episode or the next episode?
Next question.
Okay.
Who?
He was the one that was talking to Vanestra. And she was like, go to Kofar, and he's like, you get headaches when you travel through.
He was last episode. The episode I was just
That guy sucks.
You don't like him?
That guy sucks. That actor sucks, or whatever. The dialogue they gave him sucks. But anyway, him and Vanestra on the screen at the same time, I was like, get me out of here, dude.
Yeah. I think it's important because you're like, okay, she's going to probably cover this up somehow. Yeah. But I'm with you. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not sold into her at all. I don't like her. But I guess she's really cool in the High Republic books.
That's what I've heard.
So.
I'll
have to read them. Anyway.
Okay, last episode?
Choice. Yeah.
Choice.
Choice. Go ahead. I've been talking a lot. Let's hear what you got.
Let's miss. Okay, so we're back on Brendock. Back 20 or something years ago. 15.
No, I think you're right. 20, because I think it's 20. I think it was 2 something, because I was like, oh, that's how old they are then.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 16 because they were 8. I don't know.
Amanda Stenberg in real life is 25 years old. She's our age.
And let's say they were, 8 when they were that little? I don't know.
So 16, 18 years ago.
That sounds right. Let's go with that.
We're back there. And like I said, like a cool dynamic opens up where you learn why they're there, kind of the intentions behind their actions. Soul, I really just didn't get why he was so fixated on OSHA.
I know, it's kind of weird. I feel like there was something that was cut, or this connection he's feeling with her. It just, it makes sense that's why like that connection makes sense to exist for why he's so wanting her in these.
Yeah.
What we're seeing live action time.
Yeah.
Live action time or modern day. What the hell would you
modern day? I would say present
time.
Yeah. Whatever.
That makes sense that he had to have some form of connection, and of course the ending of why that all happened. But I'm with you. I'm like, that doesn't really explain why that's. He just says, "Oh, I feel like I'm connected. Like I need a trainer."
It could be like an homage to Qui-Gon and Anakin.
Mm.
Like Qui-Gon had an instant reaction to Anakin and a connection to him, and
Sure.
that's because he was connected to the living force and like felt a certain way about Anakin's future.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the same thing with Soul. Like he just has a connection through the force with Osha.
Okay.
But then, I mean, maybe that's not really supported because then he can't even tell the two apart later in the episode several times. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, you got a good point. If you'd feel like if you had a connection, you would know which one's which.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I did like how in the beginning, there's no dialogue and it's just them picking grass and getting samples. And you're like, what the hell's happening? And then you have the Padawan. I have it written down here, whatever his name is, Game of Thrones boy, Torben.
Mm-hmm.
He's just complaining, like, what the hell are we doing? This sucks. And then I go, we're looking for virgins. And I was like, okay, that wasn't a cringy way to let me know what's happening. I actually enjoyed that. Because usually it's like him going, oh, when are we going to find this virgins?
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
And then, yeah.
So I was like, I didn't mind that. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, and I think it was cool how they played on his desire to go back to Coruscant and be off of this mission as like his weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Because then we get to explore what makes Mother Torben. Wait, no, not Torben. That's that guy's name. Mother Anasea so powerful is because she can do that to people, like explore their minds, and presumably all of the other witches can. It just takes all of them together. So I thought that was cool. That like opened the door for his weaker mind that he had to fortify going into the final act of this episode.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was a very good like storytelling device to use that for what happened, and I think it was good. I also liked how this was done. I was like nervous of how we were going to see this scene happen, which is just going to be flashbacks.
Yeah, and
I was glad we dedicated a whole episode to just watch what happened, because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get into something if I'm in present time and then cutting to the future over and over. And most things usually do, like from what I've seen, True Detectives. Have you ever seen that HBO? That's how it was in the beginning, cutting back and forth, future, all that. And then it gives you the one episode of where it all happens. Right? Okay. So I was like, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, that's what I have that. So
yeah. Like I said, I didn't take a ton of notes on this. I was kind of checked out by this point. So I'm sorry.
Oh, that's crazy. I'll just keep going then.
No. Okay. A couple things I didn't like. Okay, first when Anasea like turns into that black cloud, at first I'm like rolling my eyes. Mm-hmm. But then I'm like, that could be cool.
Yeah.
If the stakes felt higher here, if I was more put into this mood by production value, her turning into smoke and like shape-shifting to go overtake somebody's mind, cool. But at that point, dude, it was just so hard. Like the girl who plays the
other mom?
Yeah, the other mom.
I forget her name.
Zabrak was the word I was looking for. Sorry, it's her species.
Yeah, that's what we can call her by her species. That's cool.
She also kind of sucks, man.
Yeah,
and so every time she's dialing it up against Anasea when they're like arguing in that moment, I was like, brother, get me out of here. Yeah. And then later she's screaming and fighting Soul, and she's like, fight me.
Yeah.
And she does that thing, which was a problem with. I'm so sorry, my brain is fried right now.
That's okay.
Same problem with the Inquisitor gal, Reva. In Kenobi.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this chick is a Zabrak witch. She's already intimidating enough. Don't make her shout with like an unnaturally deep voice where she's like pushing it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree.
Like the grunty, mumbly stuff I do not like. So I did not dig that. But anyway, sorry.
No, I think
that's a tangent. I'm just complaining about this episode.
You know what happens on this podcast? He gets the Complainer Award.
Yep. You know what really grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my... Oh, time out. Sorry, this is totally off topic. Remember I was asking you about that Family Guy skit where they're crash test dummies and they run into the wall and then the crash test dummy comes out
Yes.
and you're like, it sounds familiar. I haven't seen it. It's because it's in The Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm watching The Simpsons now from first. I've never seen it.
Damn.
So it's got 40 seasons, so I got enough time to burn
crazy.
through it. That's in it.
Cool.
Anyway, one thing I will say, I do like the music was cool. It was like eerie but mythical at the same time. I thought it was a really good touch. Usually this whole, because like going back to the Bad Batch, we always talked about the music, how good it was, and this really hasn't had that. But this episode stood out to me as
It's a great point.
So I liked it.
It's a great point. Another thing I liked was people a few weeks ago were bitching about not seeing Kelnaka fight.
Yeah.
We get it, bro. He just destroys everybody.
Yeah.
Destroys Torben and Soul.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really cool, man.
He's like a barbaric. Like
Yeah.
he's got the lightsaber, but he doesn't need it. It's crazy. Just so OP, really.
And like knowing how strong Wookiees are from the original trilogy, where they can just like rip people's arms off.
Yeah.
You are genuinely afraid. You know Torben's going to survive this because you see him as he grows older. But you're like, man, he's going to get really effed up here.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool. That was a great fight scene.
Face gets wrecked from him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I really like that. I thought that was great.
Yeah. So we finally got a Wookiee fighting with a lightsaber. Very cool stuff.
Someone chill out. My question, though, is are the Jedi CPS, Child Protective Services?
Yeah.
At least Soul is. He's like, we got to get these kids out of here. It's not safe for these kids. And I'm like, I mean, it goes back to the whole Jedi of we are the only one who can wield the Force the way we wield it. No one else can.
Yeah.
We don't want your little sects and whatever doing what you're doing. You pagan gods. And it's funny because like he's like, oh, they're in such danger, but we see in the first episodes that they're not, that they're cared for and they're loved.
Exactly.
And they're just using the Force in a different way that they're not okay with.
Yeah, which I think is what Indara's kind of going for. But then I'm also confused by her intentions later. Also confused by some stuff that she says, like when she wants to go in to confront them alone, and Soul's like, "There's like 50 of them."
Yeah,
and she's like 50 women and 2 children. I was like, "What's that supposed to mean? Like, is that less intimidating? That's still 50 people, bitch."
Time out. 50 witches. Okay?
Yeah.
That's what you should be. That's a lot
Seriously.
of power in that room. That's insane.
You just reminded me. One thing I don't like is that they call each other witches.
What's that witch?
She's like, "Witches, get ready."
Ugly witches. No, I know. I saw that too. I was like, would you like? I don't see any group doing that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if there's a group of witches in today's world, they're calling each other witches, and it's gonna be super cringy. I was at Barnes and Noble last week.
You saw a witch?
No, I saw. There's like a whole witch section of like actual witchcraft, how to be a witch today.
What? Did you get a book?
I do like witchcraft stuff, you know, so I was like fingering through not fingering.
You were what?
So weird.
No, but it's funny because I actually heard that in a show.
I think it's
it's correct to say for books.
I think it used to be common, but it's not anymore. I was thumbing through some of the pages of one of the books, but anyway, there's witches out there today, man.
Hey.
Barnes and Noble's promoting that, so
canceled. I don't want them here. Okay, now here's my thing. What's up with Padawans always doing dumb things? Like, I guess they're just because they're kids.
Yeah, they're just kids, man.
But like, Torben, buddy, I know you want to get home, but just think a little bit.
Seriously,
just think a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point. I'm talking about like how cool his intentions are, but they're actually stupid.
He's
like
a teenager.
He's got to know his mission's going to end, and they're going to go back to Coruscant.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's just. I'm thinking he had a shoddy back home. He was just trying to say what's up.
Probably, dude.
But now, okay, here's. I just thought of this. When I was on vacation in junior high and high school, after 3 days, I was like, I just want to be home. I want to go with my friends. What are my friends doing?
Yeah.
I never enjoyed it after that long because I'm like, I just want to be hanging out with my friends.
Even today, dude. I hate long
Is that how you were doing?
Well, after a week, man, I'm completely
a week
done.
is long.
Yeah,
that's a long time to be on vacation. But if you give me a week, I'm like, okay, that was perfect amount of time. I'm ready to be home. So I'm wondering if that's what they're kind of playing on. Like, he's young. Like, this sucks ass.
Yeah, it's a great point.
So I know, because that's how I used to be. Like on cruises, I'd be like, dude, can I just go home? It's the 4th day. I'm over it.
Yeah,
I want to be with my friends. Anyway, I guess it wasn't really a vacation. It was work for him, so it's even worse.
That's true. That sucks. I don't really have much else.
Oh, dude. Okay. Well, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You've been nitpicking the episode for me, so I can say this now. I don't feel like, I wasn't going to do it because I don't want to attack it, but you've been hitting all the points I wanted to.
Sure.
So I look like the good guy. So thank you.
Good.
I put bad boo for this line. It's when Anase is talking and what is I can't remember this. Basically, she says, "And right now, I choose mother." When they're talking about the decision or what's going to happen with Osha, what her is going to be her life. And I'm like, okay, that had to be full direction because we've seen Anase. She's been one of the best actresses.
Yeah, she's solid.
Time. Yeah, her and Soul, I think, are the best from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And so when that happened, it just came off terrible line delivery, terrible direction. I'm like, I'm not going to put that on her. That was all.
Yeah. Also, the other people in that scene who are feeding her dialogue, that they suck kind of right there. So I think that's just a poorly directed scene.
That's just a bad scene. I choose mother. And I'm like, and the thing is, and we've talked about this, we don't feed it to us. We can read between the lines. You could just say, I want her to choose what she wants to do. Yeah. That is her saying, I choose to be a mom and let her do whatever she wants. Like that, you got it. Mm-hmm. We can read between the lines of a strong woman character. You don't have to force feed me that thing.
Yeah, that's a great point. Especially when there's like that different dynamic between their two mothers, where one is like protective and I want to protect them by keeping them here, and the other one is like Anase is like I want to protect them by giving them what they want and what's gonna like keep us safe. I think that's a really interesting dynamic. Again, it's bogged down by spoon-fed dialogue, cringy dialogue, you know. I have one more thing. This is my last thing. I don't know how much you have left.
I got a couple things, but I can go over them.
I was not thrilled with the way, because this whole time it's been a mystery as to how all of the witches died. They're like controlling a guy's mind, a Wookiee's mind, and then they just pass out and they die. Or they're passed out and then I guess they burn up. So I thought with the way everything's been hidden, the Jedi are like killing them, like massacring them. You know,
I want just
exactly
sledding through bodies, dude.
Exactly, just didn't do it for me. I was like, it wasn't really anybody's fault. I mean, of course it was. If Sol and Torben hadn't rushed in, they wouldn't have taken those measures to get them out by overtaking Kelnaka's mind and exerting themselves, whatever. So it is somebody's fault. But I'm like, that's still playing it a little safe. Like, if you're gonna make the Jedi bad,
make them bad.
Make them bad.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I agree. I was with you when it happened. When Andara does whatever she does, because I was confused. Like, did she like snap all their necks? I don't know what happened. They're all just falling. And there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Which is like, here's the thing: with the mystery, you're always gonna have people who are not gonna be satisfied. But you chose an ending that no one's gonna be like, oh, that was sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's a great point.
Like, everyone's gonna be sad, so you might as well make it good. Like, make it so that they go through and they just are slaughtering all these witches. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm there for that all day.
I didn't like that payoff at all.
Yeah.
One thing I did like is I do kind of like how we got to see how Anase was controlling Torben's mind.
Yeah.
Would you have folded if she's seducing you kind of like that, Loki? You folded?
Her?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
Are these guys gonna bang right now?
Dude, I'm there for that all day. Seriously, I saw my soul.
Yeah, she was using her powers, bro.
What else is that lady in? The lady who plays Anase.
While you're looking that up, this like the ending of this episode really I fell off because I was like, there's so much cringy line delivery, and we've talked about it, we're not going to harp on it, but I'm going to do it right now. So sue me. When freaking May breaks the door and she's like, no one can come in or out, and her mom's like, yeah. I'm like, what the F was that? What the F was that? Just like break the door and be like, okay, we're safe. Boom.
Yeah.
What was that?
Those girls suck. And I'm sorry. Like, I know I'm part of the problem and I'm bullying another Star Wars kid, whatever.
I feel so bad.
But they're bad and it sucks. And you know, of course, it's not all their fault.
It's just the hardest thing, and I think you and I are the same with this. I just don't like kid actors to begin with.
Dude,
It's so hard for me to get behind.
I feel you. Shelley Duvall passed away today. Do you know who Shelley Duvall is?
She sings Duval Shelley, Duval Shelley.
She
Shelley,
does
Duval.
sing that.
No,
She's the wife in The Shining. She's in Nashville. She's in Annie Hall, which notoriously took an Oscar from the original Star Wars, the 1978 Oscar, for the year of 1977. She's in Three Women.
What are you, some film nerd?
Sorry.
Check out Film Fixation if you want to
Check out Film Fixation. We're going to be talking about this. She passed away today. Rest in peace. Sucks. She just had a birthday. She just turned 75 like 4 days ago.
Pretty young, relatively.
Yeah, she died of diabetes. It's weird.
You can die from that?
I guess
thought we got that cured.
Yeah.
Just
Anyway.
kidding. As a joke, if anyone has diabetes.
Yeah. We're fighting for you, man. Were you going to ask a question in that?
I was getting to clarify. You said she was the wife in The Shining?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know talking about that. Okay, go ahead.
So she died today. And so I got home from work and I put on The Shining just to watch.
Red Rum.
And that's what I'm saying is that kid is like annoying, but it's not. He doesn't pull. And I think that's where it goes back to direction. Like you need to know your kid's limits.
Yeah.
And Stanley Kubrick, one of the best directors of all time, knows that this kid is central to the story, but he knows the limits of using a kid to tell a story.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You got to use their strengths and know their weaknesses, because I would say 95% of kid actors aren't going to be able to deliver a powerful emotional line.
Oh, yeah.
They just, every time it happens, you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's trying, So, yeah, like you're saying, pull that away from them. Don't give them those moments, because that is going to ruin. That's a really good point.
Thank you.
Yeah, so no limit. I mean, and like you're saying, I don't want to bully these kids. I don't want to have another situation like our boy
Jake Lloyd.
I think it's Jake Lloyd. Yeah. Because when you said that, I was like, oh, yeah, I should be nicer. But I just don't like kid actors. It's so bad for me.
Yeah.
I've never been behind them. Even as a kid, when I watched Home Alone, I was like, I don't like this guy.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, for real.
Anyway. Sorry
So, yeah, that sucks.
Okay, so here's my question. So May's goal was just to burn the book, and it just got out of hand? Is that what we're kind of looking at?
I guess so.
I guess.
I think. I don't know.
I don't either.
Because she is, like, raging.
Yeah, she's pissed.
And her mom is encouraging her. The Zabrak mom is like, yes, use your anger, whatever.
Get it, queen.
So maybe there was some intentionality behind that. But no, I think it's what you're saying.
Yeah, just because regardless of, there's immediate regret when it breaks.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I wonder if it didn't seem like she tried for that to happen. It just kind of happened. Anyway. Okay, I did love the line, someday all of your noble intentions will destroy the Jedi.
Yeah.
I was like, it's great. It's literally what happens.
It is what happens. I did kind of hate.
You didn't like it?
Well, okay. I just don't like. I don't like when we're watching a prequel show or movie, and they so accurately predict the future.
I get you. You don't like the storytelling.
I guess that was vague enough where it's like, yeah, the Jedi are going to fall someday because they suck. So I'm with you. I'm actually in your camp now.
Well,
when she first said it, I was like, ugh. But I'm in your camp actually.
Right, and if I may,
yeah.
Well, the reason why I like it is like it was just illustrating like what you do right there. This is your problem. You do this all the time.
That's a great point,
and that's what does happen.
Yeah,
they're always trying to be the hero and do it. Like just let the galaxy be. Sometimes, honestly,
it's a great point, man.
Soul kills her, and I put why did Soul do that? Because it felt out of character. But then again, you said something that made me think, oh, duh, because she was turning into the cloud. And she was going to control mind. Is that what we're led to believe?
I think so.
So I guess that makes sense. Because I guess I didn't understand the cloud thing, but if that's when she's going to control a mind, then it makes sense that he had to kill her.
Because later, that's what happens. The Zabrak mom turns into a cloud, and then the next thing is Kelnaka standing up there possessed. So I think so.
Okay, that makes way more sense then. See, I didn't pick that up.
What I didn't get about that is he stabs her, which I get is like a knee-jerk reaction.
Right.
But then she's like, I was going to let her go. So why is she turning into the cloud? What's she gonna do there?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. Like if you're gonna let her go, why are you getting all angry?
Yeah.
Why are you gonna control their minds if you were gonna let her go?
Yeah, I guess
She could have just been like, hold on, everyone chill.
Yeah, she's
you
still
want
like
Osha?
in power
you can
there.
have Osha.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let her go.
Weird.
That is a really weird aspect I didn't think of. Good call.
We should do a rewatch all the way through.
Okay.
And be like, were we just being way overcritical, or did they really not connect the dots here? Because I am worried that I'm like so taken aback by bad acting and bad production value that I'm just not giving them the benefit of the doubt for good storytelling. so I want to do that. But
Did you put it in Chinese or Japanese and listen to English?
that
Do that.
I forgot I said that. I'll do that.
We'll do that on the rewatch and see.
Okay, that'll be
take all the bad acting.
Yeah.
I
have one more thing on this episode.
Let's hear it.
So what do you have?
Well, I was gonna say, Torben kind of goes hard on the sticks, bro. When he's like deflecting all the arrows, I was like, this is cool. I miss this little. Remind me of Anakin when he's just whipping through. Just loved
good
it.
Stuff.
What were you gonna say?
I really like that Soul just straight up lets May die.
Yeah,
like, that's what he thinks.
Sophie's choice there. Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. Just know it's a pop culture reference when it comes to two people and choosing one. I don't know the actual story. You never heard that? You never heard Sophie's choice?
That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's called like they call it Sophie's choice of like when. Every time I've heard of it, it's like it shows an image of a mom holding two kids over the cliff, and she's got to let one go to save one of them. So she's got to choose what kid. But I think it's more like a book or something.
Well, it's a movie for sure. This is Meryl Streep, 1982.
Basically, one of the kids has to die, and the mom chooses which one.
Okay, that's sick.
Kind of like in Rick and Morty. Choose which kid you want to live. Summer. I choose Summer. Morty's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I was thinking this is a little different, but I love the trope of there's like two of the same person, and one's evil, one's good, and then the third party gets the gun, and they're like, I don't know which one to shoot.
Yeah,
that reminded me of Family Guy
with the old dude,
where he's like imprisoned by the Nazi old dude. And he's like, I don't know which one is my dad. And Peter's like, what? We don't even look alike.
That didn't even happen. What? We never switched bodies. How is this a problem? I love that.
Oh, that's killer. We should just do a Family Guy podcast.
Honestly, we should. I freaking
makes us happy.
Guy.
So yeah, I thought that was cool of Soul just being like raw dogging, man.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, May's dead. I don't care. I'll save Osha. I care about her.
Yeah. That was crazy. I was like, just, hey, honestly, F you. I'm going. But we've known he's going to choose Osha.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, damn.
But it shows he's kind of a bad dude. Like,
yeah, he's like, and he's like sitting there thinking, and it shows it's a hard decision, but it shows it's not that hard of a decision.
I think the hard part of the decision is he doesn't know which one's which, because they make it very clear that they're screaming each other's names. So once he realizes that, the one that's screaming May, he's like, that's Osha. I've got to save her.
Can I tell you something? We go back to the bad. That whole interaction of them screaming back and forth, I said, oh my gosh, shut up.
Dude,
40
times.
Osha, May. I'm like, bro, shut up.
It's like when my wife screams. No, it's like when somebody says the R word on the TV, and my wife goes, oh. I'm like, that's not fixing anything.
Yeah, no, you're not helping. I'm telling Grace you said that.
Tell her.
No, she's on my list, dude. After this, she liked Hardy's post.
I know. I told her that. She was like, I didn't like that. I was like, you did. She went and unliked it.
Well, I didn't know this is a total sidetrack. I remember when I saw this in junior high, or I guess high school, I was so confused. I watched a girl on Instagram just like everything without looking at anything. Like, you just liked all this. She's like, yeah.
I totally used to be like that.
I was like, but you don't know what. She's like, I just like everyone's photo. I was like, I don't. I'm very selective. On Instagram, on TikTok, I was lenient. I was like, I'll give it a like.
Yeah.
Instagram, I'm like, do I like this?
Yeah. Yes. I'm so sad you just said TikTok in the past tense, man.
I did. Hey, my life has been better with that.
That's good.
I just haven't wasted time.
Honestly, you being off of it has made it way less fun to be on. I mean that. Because I'll see something funny and I'm like, oh, I'll send it to Spencer. Oh, no, I won't. And then I get off.
Oh.
Yeah.
This just made me feel cute inside.
Sure, man.
Also, do you know what sucks? TikTok. I mean, a great marketing move and company move, but they used to be able, you could send a video and watch it in Safari. You can't.
No, you have to have the app.
It says go to the app. I can't even watch it.
That,
I'm like, it sucks, but it's like it makes sense for somebody like, fine, I'll just freaking download the app.
Yeah. That's, dude, I hate that. I think everything's probably like, because like Twitter is like that. You have to have an account. It's the only reason I have a Twitter. I have like a burner because I go on Bleacher Report and I can't read a freaking tweet.
So dumb.
Anyway,
sorry, that was a sidetrack.
Yeah.
What happened? Oh yeah. Anyway, Sophie's
That's
choice.
my last thing on the episodes.
Yeah, and then we see this whole band together of Indara being like, okay, we're gonna tell them. What did she say? I don't even remember what the cover up is. I totally forgot what the cover up is. They make up a cover up.
I don't remember either.
Like, I'm not gonna do it. And then Osha wakes up and he's like, that May killed everyone.
Yeah.
So he just goes into it because he panics.
Right.
So, but I am wondering these next episodes. okay, now we got Quimir. How the hell did him and May? Because he knows all this.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they told them. But like, I am curious to see how that all formed. I'm going to be kind of mad. I guess I won't be mad. But I'm going to be like, okay, if it's just like mentioned and not seen, like, oh yeah, I saw her when she was a kid and they picked her up.
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a flashback?
I don't know. Hopefully, it's a flashback.
Yeah.
Well, this is the last episode.
I don't know if I want it to be a flashback. I don't want to see those kid actors anymore.
That's a good point. That's a great point. This is the last episode, right? This next one?
I think so. 10 or 9. What is it?
I thought there were only 8. So if there's 9, I'm happy about that because I'm like, man, you're not going to end this in one episode, right? That might suck.
That's a good point. Well, IMDb. So I was nervous because there was a lot of chatter on the comms that Soul was going to die in the episode where we see Quimir come and kill everyone, whatever episode that was.
Yeah.
3 ago. And when I had gone into, it looks like it's only 8.
Dang.
That's really crappy, honestly, because it's like, I don't know how they're going to close it up in one episode. But we say that all the time, and I guess we're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but it always sucks, man.
Yeah, I think where we are, it's like a 2-episode closer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a dumb baby. No, hold on here. Hold the phones. Let me check something. Oh, yeah, I was going to say. When I went into the Acolyte on IMDb, it showed all the characters and how many episodes they were in. I was like, dude, what the hell? Like,
yeah.
So that's a pretty big indicator.
A spoiler.
Yeah, if you see, oh, this guy's in 3, you're like, Luckily, I didn't see yours because I would have definitely known.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that it showed Soul as like 6, but that's broken by now. Yeah. Well, I guess the episode with the girls, he wasn't in. Oh, he was in the background. So I don't know if that was like a miss because I was thinking, oh, he's gonna die in this episode then because there's only 6.
So, it could have been. IMDb is like the Wild West, man. That's never like very well regulated.
People freaking the highest rated episode in the show is a 6.6, which is Night, which I think it was a great episode. Your babies. Anyway. Yeah. I think that's all I have though.
But yep, that's all I've got.
Well, hey, howdy, hey.
So we will be back next week to discuss the finale.
The finale.
And then from there, we'll probably be done with this podcast forever.
You're not doing it. He doesn't want to do Scouts and Crew. He said he's boycotting it. When is that coming out? December?
Later this year.
Yeah, so I think we'll talk about it, but I think we'll probably just do a break for a bit. And maybe if we want to jump on and talk about an episode or a movie. That sounds good. Like maybe every 3 weeks talk about a movie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when we were in that lull of nothing coming out, it was hard. We watched the what is it called? Andor. And that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking
we could rewatch something or do the movie. We've still never done the movies.
That's true. I think maybe we should. But December's a long stretch, so I think we could definitely every other week pepper something in. Yeah. Movies probably.
We'll just be so busy by then, dude. Like, I have a real job now. I'm starting my master's degree. It's like
I'm never gonna see him, dude. All right, I think that's it, huh?
Okay. Yep.
Well, thank you for being a disciple of the Force.